Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. So I'm out for my morning walk and want to have a talk with you about the delusions in Tesla stock. And this is always a fun topic because whenever I make a video about this stuff, people always write the weirdest thing in comments. And I'm always like, who are these people? Like, do they really believe the words coming out of their mouth? So I want to go over this one because especially for new investors, especially for people who've lost over half their money in Tesla stock, I feel for you guys. I understand, right? If you're new and you know, you Google what is the best stock or whatever, in the last 5 years, Tesla stock has done very well. I can read numbers, I can see that, and I tell you the truth on these things. The problem is, for new people, you think that past performance will equal future results. That's not necessarily the case, guys. Things that happen in the past, don't expect it to necessarily replicate itself in the future. So I'll give you a simple example, and you need to understand this, especially if you're new to this stuff, is that if you're investing in a growth company, you want growth, right? That's the whole premise of that thing. Essentially what's going on with Tesla is that they're not growing anymore like they were. I warned you guys about this before because it's just basic math. So let's say I'm a car company and I make one car, okay? The next year I make 2 cars. I've doubled my production. Fantastic, right? The next year I make 4 cars. I double my production again, and so forth. So in the beginning, to go say from 1 car to, we'll say 100,000 cars is massive growth, right? And then they go from 100,000 to 1 million again is massive growth. But once you get to like to the 1 million car, 2 million car, to keep doubling and doubling and doubling every year is really, really tough. If you guys understand what we're talking about here. And the thing is that if you understand that sort of just basic logic that you can't grow at a high rate forever, suddenly you understand why Tesla stock is slowing down. Moreover, this is very real. Many people say, okay, Chris, in the past, we all just heard this, you know, FUD and all this stuff about Elon before. Guys, that was before. Again, you have to come up and understand that this is a very important premise. Past performance does not equal future results. All of the Tesla pumpers out there basically say, hey guys, look how awesome Tesla did in the past. It's gonna happen again. Not necessarily. The big other issue as well, and I mentioned it so many times, is look at Elon Musk's age, okay? Think of it this way. Think about a professional athlete. When they're young, right? They come into the league, they're a rookie, and you're like, okay, is this person gonna be good or not? You're not really sure. A team takes a risk on them, same way they may invest in a company early on. You take a risk, and sometimes it proves out to be right, and they turn into a superstar. And so from, say, rookie to, you know, what 22 coming out of college and you know, they get to reach their prime at like 28. That's kind of the story of the Tesla. And then after they reach their prime, right, they start to decline. They don't necessarily grow at that same rate. They've already really, quote, made it, that there's nowhere else that they can go. Now the arguments that people say is, oh Chris, you're so dumb, Tesla's more than a car company. Well, I mean, I'm not seeing it in the numbers, and I want to talk with you guys about this kind of thing because if suddenly, and this is what many of the Tesla pumper channels do, if they look at the news every single day, and I look at the news too, and they say, well, don't believe the news, they just hate Elon. Don't believe the news, this is all political. That's essentially the arguments that they try to make. And if you watch my channel, I never really mention like the politics of Elon in the sense of like, oh, I hate Tesla company because of Elon's politics, or I hate Tesla company because of like the stuff he says on Twitter. It's not really about that at all. It's about the numbers. That's really what it's about. It's about the numbers. And what I mean by that is, like, I can see the growth is slowing. I can see it in the numbers. I can see that, like, for example, the news, it was just this week that they're cutting production in China. So for a growth company with no growth, and in fact cutting production, moreover they have more competition, like you can see it. And it's sad because, like, when I read through comments of these, and I'll just be honest with you guys, delusional people, I actually don't know, are these people like really believe the lies that they're saying, or are they just really, really naive? Who knows? I don't know, right? Some people, you know, purposely are, and it is what it is, like purposely put out misinformation, disinformation, because they're down over half their money. And guys, I understand that. If I was down big on Tesla, I would be like stressed out every day. It's like, when my money gonna come back? When my money gonna come back? That's what lots of people are doing. And then it goes back to, you have this hopium that past performance will equal future results. Not necessarily, right? The growth has slowed. Moreover, this is the big one, and it's funny that people turn it political. And the reason why I mention that is because, like, just think of any other company. Let's use the example of, and we'll use another CEO like you guys all know and love, Steve Jobs, right? You guys know this. He's gone now, but you know, just imagine like if he were Apple, and he tells everyone at Apple, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna go buy another company and spend, you know, half my time at doing something else. You know, iPhones are cool and all, but I just want to go do something else. Like how would people respond to that? It would be crazy. Imagine if Mark Zuckerberg woke up today and it's like, you know what? I don't care about Facebook anymore. I don't care about that company. I'm gonna go like and do something else. I'm gonna go start a car company. Like, just think how crazy that would be. So this is what I'm talking with you guys, is that it's not really about politics. I'm talking about just numbers and also business. And what I find so fascinating about the Tesla cult is like they have to come up with this weird explanation of why like we all hate Elon for whatever reason, but it's not really like hate for Elon. So I always laugh. And the other thing too, which I want to make it really clear, is I can tell like when people understand my videos or not by the things that they say. Like for example, if I say, hey guys, Tesla growth is slowing. It doesn't look like it's going to be doing the same rate of growth it did in the past. And if people write comments say, oh Chris, you're just a hater, and they mention nothing about growth, how do you respond to those kind of people? It's like, do you not understand anything that I'm saying, or are you purposely lying? I don't know, right? I can't read what's in your heart. All I can do every day is tell you guys the truth the best of my ability. Moreover, I know, and this people always ask you like, how can you spot the pumpers? How do you know? Because I read the news every day. I read everything every day, and so I know for a fact when people are leaving stuff out. I know for a fact when people are misrepresenting things because I read it all. What happens is, for many people, is they rely on the pumpers on YouTube to tell them what's going on, right? And essentially what their channels do every single day is say, oh, look at the news, it's all fake, don't believe in the news, they all just hate Elon, it's all political. But it's like, if you read it for yourself, and I'll use the example, the most recent news where the pumpers are trying to downplay it is like, they're cutting production in China. So how does cutting production in China, how does a news organization reporting that, how is that political? Like, Elon Musk literally bought another company and spends all his time like with other companies not focusing on Tesla. Or another simple example, where's the Tesla, the sports car? When's that Roadster? The Roadster, when's it coming out, right? Elon says, oh, it's coming out at the end of the year, but like he promised that a couple of years ago. It's still not here. And like this again, that kind of stuff, it's like has nothing to do with politics at all. It's like, just imagine Steve Jobs come out, and I use a Jobs example because it's a, you know, a famous example. It's like, say he came out and said, hey guys, you know, we're going to be making this most awesome, you know, Apple spaceship in world history, and it's going to be so fantastic. And like, it never comes out, and you're like, where's your spaceship, Steve? where is it, right? This is something that and people say act like it's like political, but it's like, no, I don't see the Roadster. I don't know where it is. FSD still isn't here. They've been promising that for years. And so I want you guys to just sort of reattune yourself and just ask yourself some serious questions when you talk about this subject. Is one, are you being really truly honest with yourself? If someone continuously makes promises to you but doesn't deliver, right? Like, what do you call that person? Person who promises stuff all the time and doesn't deliver, what do you call that person? Right, I'll ask you that question. And the other question I pose to you as well is, when you hear the pumper challenge for you know, you watch it and all that stuff, why are they not showing you all of the numbers, right? And if you want to see all the numbers, please guys, hang out on this channel. We look at it all the time and we talk about it, and I give you realistic projections of these kind of things. And we accurately predicted that Tesla stock would go down the way that it has. And so I can't bring your guys' money back. And I know the other channels kind of promise you that, oh well, if you watch my channel and pump up with everyone else, we'll convince all these other people to buy your stock and you'll get your 50% money back. But no one can promise you that. The truth of the matter is that it was a growth company, it was a growth stock, that's why people are into this thing, and now the company has no growth. So good luck to you out there. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one, and I'll catch you next video.